Hello, my dear and valuable friends. Welcome back. I'm Tetivik, and today we have a wonderful, healing, beautiful, and powerful video. I think this is one of the most important videos that I will make, and in general, I always speak about this topic with a very big respect and value. So, we're going to continue to talk about these things that are important for a woman's value, for a man's value, and in general, for our family institution in a society. Today, we're going to talk about intimacy between man and a woman. Around 1-2 years ago, I made already video about this. I'm wearing a very nice, floral, beautiful dress, and the video was very powerful. A lot of people commented that it changed them, and I know it did because it had a very strong information that women and men should not be intimate if they are not actually married. And it explained very different aspects why not and why we should actually protect ourselves. And this is what we're going to talk more about in this video. Before I start, let me remind you that I do one-to-one session, and I'm going to create a new beautiful program where we can heal ourselves. If, for example, you have been intimate with a man and you want to stop it and you want to start a new life, you can sign in for the program. We're going to have a beautiful sessions, beautiful calls, beautiful videos, beautiful program for you to heal that and actually how to change your life and start living differently so you can attract the man of your dreams, you can get engaged, you can get married and create family. And we are on a journey. We're doing all this together. No one is judging. And of course, you can purchase my other online courses. As you know, I have a beautiful academy where you can purchase courses and do them at the comfort of your house. And of course, you can pre-order my new book. It's going to come very soon. It's on a launching stage. And of course, when the book is ready, I will definitely make a separate video to announce it. But you can already book it, and who books, of course, you get a special deal. And anything that you see, that any beautiful dresses that I wear, how beautiful is this dress, no? Like a princess dress, or any beautiful items that you see that are on my videos, everything is created for you. You can purchase whatever you want. This channel is absolutely for you. Now, let's start. I want you to fully relax because this is important and a very deep topic. I want you to be relaxed. So if you're driving, maybe it's not the best time. Of course, you can listen, but the best thing is to actually do it when you're completely relaxed, when there is no noise, no distraction, no TV. If you're hungry, eat before the video. And then if you need, make notes, because it's going to actually influence something in you and change things in you. These videos are not for entertainment. These videos are to change you, change your character, change your life. So if you're ready, I would suggest you to actually start thinking about your life. Now, whatever happened in the past, that is absolutely fine. It's past. We cannot now alter the past, but we can alter the future. What we're going to discuss today in a video, we're going to cover a lot of topics, a lot of very vital subjects that are connected with this huge idea of intimacy between a man and a woman. It's a physical intimacy between man and a woman that is quite sacred, I would say. And you know, in my entire years that I'm on YouTube, actually in general, if you even meet me in my life, I never speak about it in a different way. I only say intimacy because I'm a very classy and I'm a classy lady. So I choose correct words for that. So I want you to understand when I say intimacy between man and a woman, it's a physical connection that men and women have when they are together alone and when they are actually, making love to each other. So I want you to understand what the subject is about. And today we're going to talk about why you shouldn't be actually intimate with a man that you're not married with. And also we're going to cover why engagement actually is not true commitment, because engagement ring easily can come off and engagement can be broken, so do not be fooled. And of course, we're going to talk about abstinence. To understand what is abstinent, we're going to talk about celibacy, what is celibacy, and we're going to talk about fornication, what is fornication, and we're going to talk about adultery. Now, these four giant words is where people have the biggest misconceptions. And we're going to understand everything, talk about everything, feel very comfortable, feel very relaxed. If you're a woman, if you're a man, doesn't matter. In any age, if you're 16 or 26, 36 or 46, you have to know this, because intimacy between a man and a woman is the most important part of relationship. And it's important, why I say it's because it's where people sin the most. It's where the people have the biggest unhappiness. Because when you are intimate with someone that is not your person, it's going to bring unhappiness in your life, because it's a sin and every sin gets punished. Now, even people who do not believe in God still are against intimacy between a man and a woman. It's very interesting that they might not even know God, but they still will forbid their children to be intimate. Why? Because it's encoded in us. If we choose to not believe in God, it does not change the fact that He has installed in us specific instincts. Have you noticed people who do not believe in God, they still know what's right, what's wrong. They still know when something is just and unjust. And that is because we are all created in the same way, and we have all specific instincts and specific understandings. Now, if you're ready, let's really relax, let's really calm down, and let's really discuss this subject from A to Z to understand fully what we need to know about this. And of course, this subject is very deep. In one video, we cannot cover the whole subject fully, but we will cover these terminologies that I used to understand actually what we can do to prevent ourselves to being hurt in the future when it comes to intimacy between a man and a woman. Now, let's start. Number one, in the first chapter, what I want you to understand is you have to understand the difference between these words. So the words adultery means it's actually a man and a woman, one of them or both of them can be married, and they choose to actually cheat on their spouse. That is adultery. So married, but you are cheating and being intimate with someone else, or both people are married and they're cheating on their both spouses. Adultery is cheating when you are married, one of persons or both of people. The second terminology that we want to understand is fornication. Fornication is quite a big sin, and it's very condemned because it means that you are not married, you do not have any spouse in your life, you do not have any connection with that person long term, you've never been married to them, yet you choose to be intimate with them. You might not even know that person at all. Maybe one day, 1 week, 1 month, or 1 year, it doesn't matter. But the fornication means that you choose willingly to be intimate with a person that is not your spouse. So you're not married and you're still doing physical intimacy. Now, abstinence is very important, and we're going to talk about this more deeper. Abstinence is when you have been intimate with someone in the past. Doesn't matter if it's you've been married or outside of the marriage. You have been intimate with someone, but you chose to stop it because right now you're not married. And even if you want to be in a relationship, you want to date, you still choose to not be intimate with anyone until you get married. That's abstinence. It means the harm was done, you have been intimate, but now going forward, you choose to not be intimate until the moment you get married. And the last one, celibacy, is very rarely understood, the difference between abstinence and celibacy. Celibacy, usually, the priests, the pastors in a church, they choose to be celibate. It means that they can be intimate, they can get married, but they choose to save themselves for the Lord. And true celibacy means that you have never done intimacy between you and other person, and you choose to be pure and actually leave this world pure, never having intimacy at all. And of course, there are exceptions to the rule. Celibacy sometimes in a nowadays world, they take pastors who in the beginning they could go through the journey of abstinence. It means that they need to clear the whole energy. They have been intimate, then they clear that, and then they become celibate. It means that they will never have intimacy ever again. So now, do you see the difference between these four words? So let's repeat. So the adultery is when you are married or both people are married and they commit actually adultery, which is that are becoming intimate, cheating on their spouse or on their spouses if they're both married. The second We discussed fornication is when you are not married, so you're actually not allowed, but you're still having intimacy outside of the covenant. That person is not your husband, and you are a free bird, so you choose to do whatever you want. The third, we discussed that abstinence is when you have been intimate in the past, but you choose to not be anymore until you get married. And the fourth, we discussed that the celibacy is actually for spiritual journey where you want to succeed something in your life, when you devote your life to God or church, to serve people in church. So you choose to be celibate, you choose to never get married, to never have intimacy again. And it's possible. As you know, we have very many examples of that purely lived their life and served God, and they still are serving it. Now, this is number one chapter, what I want you to understand. Now, you have to understand the reason I mentioned these words is, first of all, to remove the confusion from your mind, because there is a lot of confusion. We do not understand sometimes the words, and we get confused and we think, okay, I don't need anything because I don't really understand what is what. Now you do. So now you have responsibility. So it's for you now is to do examination. On the paper, I want you to write these 4 words and decide once for all, what are you going to do? Of course, there is also the 5th version. If, for example, you are very young, or maybe you are older, but you are kept yourself for marriage, that is purity. And that's number 5. What I want to add is, if you have your purity, it means you have never been intimate with a man, or if you're a man, you have never been intimate with a woman, you choose to keep your purity. That is not abstinence, because you have never been intimate, and that is not really celibacy, because you're not doing that to join the church or serve in a church, but you're just waiting for your spouse. So I want you to write these 5 words and choose, where do I belong in this? And just circle that word right now, or in your mind if you're not writing, where do I belong in these 5 terminologies? Where am I? This is number 1. I want you to decide where you are at the moment. And then you can circle where you want to be. For example, someone maybe right now is in fornication. Maybe someone has been already intimate with someone and you're not married to that person, and you feel kind of guilty, because we all do feel guilty, because instincts, like I mentioned in the beginning, they're encoded. We feel guilty because it's encoded in us to feel guilty for shameful behavior. Now, if you've been fornicated, you've been intimate with someone, but you know it's not right, so your guilt is talking to you, now you can circle that you want to start abstinence. You want to be in abstinent journey. And that means that, okay, now I'm going to decide that I no longer entertain this. This is not right. And those people don't even care about me. They just use you and then toss you on the side, and then you're heartbroken and your self-esteem goes lower. So we want to do this exercise. Write all 5 words, circle where you are, and circle where you want to be. Now, I also want to tell you that it could be that you circle the same word. Maybe you're pure, you never had intimacy, and you want to stay pure. Circle that word. So it's amazing news. But if you, for example, have been abstinent, but you want to join the church, you can create celibacy. Or maybe you have been intimate with someone, you did commit adultery, you need to repent, you need to ask for forgiveness, you definitely need to stop, and you need to start your abstinence journey. No one is judging, but intimacy between a man and a woman is serious matter, and it affects your well-being. It affects actually where you will end up in the end of life, and it affects also your wealth, your health, and of course prosperity of your children, of your legacy, what's going to happen to you. So it's an incredibly important matter. There is no point for us to talk about style, about beautiful hair, about femininity or masculinity, if we don't cover the most important, deepest subject of a human being as their sensual, intimate energy. Now we understood the first part of this video. Now let's move. The second chapter that we're going to discuss is actually why women and men should not be intimate without a commitment. I will tell you in the most simple way, it is not allowed. And even simpler, it is against the law. Universal law, the law of the world, and the law between the man and a woman, which is called love. So when you are being intimate with someone that is not your person, that is not your spouse, that is not designed for you, you are breaking the law of the world, You cannot go against the world's law. You cannot go against the sun. Say, I'm going to ignore the sun. It will burn you alive. You cannot ignore something that exists without your permission. So let's think logically. If there is a wave coming to you, onto you. So I was on the beach and this example really stuck with me. And there was this big wave coming at me. And I really wanted to go but I realized that it will just make me disappear because it's too big, it's too strong. I can't fight it. So all I did, like a little girl, I turned my back and I start running away from it because it is bigger than me. So this is what you're doing. You're playing with this big wave. You're playing with the sun. You're playing with the fire, and you're always going to get punished. So first aspect, when we discuss that we have these different terminologies, you have to understand that without you realizing these terminologies, you are kind of in a blind, folded place of your life. You do not understand what is happening, what should be happening. And nowadays society is so pressuring you that everything needs to be open. I'm not open, I'm covered. But the society is pressuring you that you need to be open, that you need to give your body. The movies are showing that it's normal to meet someone and then just be in a moment and feel the moment. I strongly disagree. I rebuke that, whoever makes those movies. The music shows you that people kiss, people touch, people are naked, and that is normalized. And 14-year-old, forbid God, 9-year-old, 15-year-old, 18-year-old are watching it, and the brain of a child is so fragile, and they're taking it as a normal behavior. In the beginning, it shocks them. The research shows when child sees any physical activity or even touching or kissing, it's a shock for a child because child doesn't know that. But then they become numb because they keep seeing it all the time. And thanks to wrong type of apps as, for example, Instagram or TikTok or other ones, I do not approve any of those. I think they need to be burned and closed. They should not be allowed because there is nothing good in that. And if I would be head of the government, I would forbid smoking, drinking, gambling, and these apps. Unnecessary waste of time. And destroying our children, destroying us, numbing our brain. People do not know how to talk anymore because they don't read anymore. So the reason that it's not allowed for you to be intimate with a man if you're a woman or with a woman if you're a man is because it's against the world's law. You are not allowed. I'm not discussing. Let's sit down. Come join me. Sit down next to this table. Let's discuss. We are not discussing this topic. You are not allowed to be intimate if the person is not your husband, not boyfriend. In Middle Eastern, Arabic, Armenian, in a normal traditions, Asian traditions, there is no such thing as boyfriend. We do not have those things. I do not have boyfriend because it's not allowed. And the reason it's not allowed, that's so people do not hurt you. If one boyfriend, another boyfriend, you sleep around, another one lives with you, another one takes your money, and by the time you're 25, you're broken to the pieces. That no one can marry you and you cannot have children anymore because you have different illnesses, intimate illnesses. There is no such thing as boyfriend. In my culture, it doesn't exist. I don't know. Even when I was in Europe, people asked, do you have a boyfriend? I was like, what's that? Like a boy who is friend? No, I don't have friends that are boys, only girls. So I thought it's a joke the first time when I heard that. But now, of course, I'm used to it. Many years after, it's normal. I'm used to hearing it. But I do not have boyfriend. And in my videos, if I ever am dating with a man, I am in a relationship with a man, I say one word, my man. That's the only thing. That means that this person is dating with me, or maybe he proposed me and now we're serious and we're getting to know each other for marriage. But I don't live with him. He doesn't live with me. I don't invite him to my house. We don't stay alone. I do not sleep in his house. Those things are not allowed. Because who is he? He hasn't earned me. He hasn't done anything for me. He hasn't bought me a car. He hasn't bought me a house. He hasn't secured me in any way. Why would I be his girlfriend? There's only one status I can be, short term, I can be fiance. Okay, propose me, I will wear the ring and we are going to plan the wedding. And throughout my life, I've been proposed several times and rings can change and I can go to different dates, I can choose what to do, but it's courtship. I would not even call it dating. So there is no intimacy between man and woman because it's not allowed. It's against the whole world and against of your nature as a human being because you're too valuable to sleep around until you hopefully find someone. So you're going to sleep with 10 people until hopefully someone sticks with you. That's it's a lost game. It's a game where you are designed to lose. I disagree. And you should disagree. And you should be triggered, worried, and angry. Why people are using me. And it's actually not only about women. There are a lot of handsome men that complain to me that women use them for intimacy and they're not serious with them. So now men are getting used. What is happening in our society? Stop it. Stop it. Go to the sink, take cold water and splash on your face. Wake up. You're going to hell with this behavior. Because doesn't matter if you believe or you don't believe, some things are inevitable. If you're thirsty, for example, you drink water, it's going to kill your thirst, correct? So if you have intimate desires and you actually fulfill them, you think that it's going to kill the thirst, but actually it will never kill because it's external. Now, what happens after you had some water and you get thirsty again? You will go and have water again, correct? Several times a day, you will have water. It's exact same thing with the bodily functions as intimacy. It's exact same as water. As more you drink, as more you will want, because it's body. So we have only one solution. Do not do it. Go ahead, drink as much water as you want in the kitchen, but refuse your bodily function as intimacy. You're not designed to do that outside of the covenant. Now, before I move to the third point, I want you to understand one very deep thing that in the biblical times, before our era and after, there was a rule that when a man was intimate with a woman, she was automatically his wife. I would like you to think about what I just said. A man who is sleeping with you, inviting you to sleep with him, is saying, you're my wife. Okay, great. Where's my ring? Where's my house? Where's my car? Where's the carpets that I want? Where's the furniture that I want? Where's the funds in the bank account so I can go shopping and do things? Where's your protection and provision over me? Where are you? Oh, no, I'm not ready to give you that. Then I am not ready to give you what you ask. It's a fair exchange. So you're telling me I need to give you precious diamond and you give me zero? In which shop you can do this negotiation? Tell me, I will go to that shop and get the diamonds for free. It doesn't exist. I want your mind to explode today of the nonsense that you're doing. Nonsense. There is no other word. You've been lied to. You've been confused and you're blind to the truth and you're leading your life to destruction. So it's against the universal law. It's definitely against the God's law because it clearly says when you are doing it, you are sinning against the God. Is not allowed. And of course, it's against a human being. You're basically using someone else for your gratification that will lead nowhere. So against the world, against the nature, against the God, against yourself and against other people. Sounds like a great deal. You don't understand that everything is against, that you shouldn't do it. And yet people still do it. Now, are you ready for the third? The third chapter that we will talk about today is realizing that when you are intimate without a commitment or outside the marriage, you are incredibly vulnerable. You're incredibly at risk and you are guaranteed to have the punishment. Shall we discuss punishments? Shall we? It's not enough maybe for you. First of all, intimate illnesses, uncurable intimate illnesses that lead to death. And it's fact, no? It's not 1,000, it's millions of people are sick with intimate illnesses, diseases, sicknesses that are uncurable. And every day, thousands of people are dying before even you wake up because they cannot hold themselves. Oh, you know what? I'm going to never do it because the fear of the sicknesses that it can bring, it's like it just makes me tremble. You know, when I think what can happen, I'm like, oh God, no. No. You have to have this fear that, oh my God, no. Basically, it can kill you. Why you sign a contract to do it? Okay, that is not enough. Let's move on. The second is, of course, getting pregnant. So something that is the most beautiful, the most valuable, getting pregnant, you give it to the chance. So you can get pregnant and the person can leave. That's very sad. There's not enough people who are raising their children alone. So when I think about it, I'm like, no, I will never do that. I'm responsible for my child. I want my child to have a father. It's no for me. I will not even discuss. If man has audacity to bring it up, I will say no. You disrespect me. This is disrespectful. You even talk about it. I refuse to answer. You have to have your boundaries. And the third, of course, you lose your value. In your own eyes, your self-esteem goes so low that you choose whoever. That if he drinks, okay, he smokes, okay, if he gambles, okay, if he gets his money in a criminal way, okay, because you're blinded. Everything becomes okay for you. Because your self-esteem is so low, you think that you don't deserve anyone else. Why I'm going to marry a wealthy, rich, loving, handsome man? Why? Because my self-esteem is over the roof. You know, the roof, I have very high ceilings. It's a mansion, so it's double of the room. So it's hitting the ceilings are broken. My sometimes when I go in the rooms, I go from one room to another, I feel how I'm breaking the walls and ceilings, you know, because I'm so full of myself, of this value, that the house is like, oh my God, she came. Raise your value. Do not sleep around. I hope this opened your eyes today. And now let's summarize. Number one, we discussed that we need to understand difference between the terminologies: adultery, fornication, of course, abstinence, and celibacy and purity. Realize where you are and where you want to be. Decide it today. Number two, we discussed that actually why you shouldn't be intimate is because it's against the law. World law, nature law, God's law, law against yourself, and law against other person. So you are not allowed. And we're not discussing it. You should have responsibility to live the life in the right way, to not actually harm yourself and others. And number three, we discussed that it has very severe punishments and consequences, as diseases that cannot be cured and lead to death, or you can suffer all your life, that be on a medication if that's what you want. Of course, unwilling and unwanted pregnancies, and of course, losing your self-esteem and your self-worth. So think about it, heal yourself, ask for forgiveness, and start being pure in your heart, start being pure in your body. Thank you so much for watching. I believe in you. You can do it. And of course, remember to smile today and enjoy your life.